Yo, yo, yo. What's going on today? Yeah. Um, Today one of them days, man. It's a good day still. I heard a saying it was like every day above ground is a good day, right? But it's raining, man. I hate it. I ain't gonna lie. When it rains, you know. Uh, I don't know. It's just something about rainy days, right? I really don't like them. But I don't know, man. I woke up this morning and um, for some strange reason, the word revenge, revenge was it was it was it was in my mind, you know. Um, and I was just like, man, God, why am I thinking about revenge? Um, but so I always heard the saying, the little quote that come out of the Bible, and it said, "Vengeance is mine." But that was like the only thing I have heard, right? So I was just looking it up, and a few verses popped up. It's one verse, Deuteronomy 32:35, and it says, "It is mine to avenge, right? I will repay. In due time, their foot will slide, and their day of disaster is at hand, and their fate rushes upon them." And I was like, wow. So it took me back, right? It took me back to a situation that actually happened to me. I remember uh, I got shot before, right? It was back in like 2010. And, sometimes I hate like revisiting that story or that thought because, PTSD, right? I know I suffer from it. Anybody who been in the streets or just went through something traumatic, right? You're going to suffer from PTSD. It's just one of them things, man. You replay certain events in your mind when that situation or those situations may have occurred after a while. You try to um, maybe not think about it or whatever, but it never goes away. Like it just always replay in your mind, right? Just you know, it just comes up, right? So back to the story, and I'm gonna keep it brief. It's touchy. Um, I like my shirt too. Y'all like my shirt? All money in. Count up that loot. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the hustle. You know what I'm saying? The marathon continues. You dig? Um, Rest in peace, Nip. Um, but yeah, yeah, I really just that revenge subject, man. So when I got shot, right? Um, you know, not to take you through all the events, but I'm gonna just say, I can remember laying in that bed, in the hospital bed, and I was so like furious. I was so furious. Like I just kept telling myself, like, man, I want what they be talking about, my get back, right? I want my get back. I want my get back. I'm just laying there, just like, man, I want my lick back. But I also, remember, you know, some detectives came and, you know, they was asking me all type of questions or whatever. And I'm just telling them like, man, look, I got carjacked. I don't know nothing, right? And he like, you know, we know your name and we know what's going on, all this old stuff, right? So I'm just like, man, look, I got carjacked. I don't know, right? But so when I got out the hospital and I, you know, back at back at my granny crib, and she's, man, this lady. When I say this lady doctored me back to health, man, she um was changing my wound pad because I got shot in my chest. She was changing my wound pad and just, man, just doctoring me back to health, man. Like, I really am grateful for having that lady in my life. Um, but yeah, I was, man, we was just, it was a lot of events that was happening at that time. But this particular morning, um, God was just telling me, it was like I was hearing a voice about forgiveness, right? And I'm like, I found myself talking to God because I had that relationship with him, right? I'm like, God, I don't want to forgive nobody, right? And he just, it's like he was saying, but, he forgave me, right? So I end up, because that person, you know, or them people or whoever it was, right? They had my phone. They had one of my phones, and I could remember that morning about the forgiveness, and I didn't want to. I didn't, but I knew that if I didn't, it was gonna be a lot of uh just more events coming behind that whole situation, and I seen that it wasn't gonna pan out right, right? I even, I ain't really never told nobody this, but I even had issues with some of my family members because they didn't want me to, forgive nobody, right? We didn't operate on forgiveness. You know what I'm saying? We just, that was something that, when you in the streets, you just don't really operate in forgiveness. You know, it ain't something that you do, right? So, man, I kind of had a issue, you know what I'm saying? My family members about it, right? But um, I could remember me texting that phone, right? And I was like, man, look, I forgive you only because God forgave me, right? Because that was the first time that I have I have ever really been a victim. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never really been a victim, you know. Um, I've done some victimizing. You feel me? But that was like the first time where it was like people all in the uproar. I'm getting phone calls and from out of state and in state, and people coming to check on me, and it was a real situation that I'm pretty sure anybody would just want they get back, right? They would just not want to be forgiven, and and I for the first time um, experienced some pain that may have caused people, right? So um allegedly, right? Um so I sent that text out, right? It's like, man, I forgive you only because God forgave me, right? So when I did that, this person let me know a few things that I didn't know, you know. Whether it was true or not, it is what it is, right? But they let me know some things that I didn't know about some people that I may have been hanging around or not hanging around, right? But whoever these people was, apparently they were in my section, right? I've I have came across these people before, right? They let me know that this person that was, telling them all type of information, right? Giving up information. Um, so um, they let me know that, and I was just like, dang, you know. And after that, you know, I still didn't know if I still didn't even know if I was forgiving that person or not. I just wasn't seeking that revenge that I wanted. I wasn't doing that. I wasn't seeking that revenge. But I didn't know if I was just really forgiving that person, you know. Um, and later on, though, I got wind that, this person had their own hiccups, right? And they and um when the Lord said vengeance is his and people will be repaid, right? That person was facing their own demise. You know, I never wished it up on them or nothing like that, because I call myself letting it go, right? Because it was only me letting it go, and forgiving them was for me. Like, so I won't be consumed in uh, being vengeful, because I know how that could be, you know. I know how seeking revenge can be. I know what it can lead to, right? Um, and it just ain't always good, you know. So I guess I'm just saying, like, people that do you harm, right? You don't always have to get your get back, you know. You don't always have to seek your revenge on them type of people, right? Because they not getting away. They may think they are, but I'm a firm witness that people don't get away with stuff that they do to you. You know, um, I guess you would call it karma. You know, um, but people don't get away. You know what I'm saying? Uh, and yeah, that person was facing their own demise or whatever. You know, but I don't know, man. It's just that was just one of them things where, like, it was hard for me to do. it was hard for me to forgive someone who caused me bodily harm, right? Um, and then, you know, what was crazy is like, you know how like victims comp or whatever in the state of Missouri, man, I couldn't even get it because I was in trouble myself, you know. I was on probation or something, or I had been on probation. I had caught a case or whatever. So I couldn't even qualify for victims comp. Like, that was, I was like, dang, I gotta take this. You know what I'm saying? So I knew this was, I knew this was God telling me, you know, you have to forgive because, you know, I was forgiven. Just put it that way, man. I was forgiven for some things, right? So, yeah, man. So I guess I'm just saying, like, well, if somebody doing something or if somebody have done something to you, right? Just know they ain't gonna get away. They not. You might not see it, right? But they ain't gonna get away. They gonna get just what they got coming to them. They really are. You know what I'm saying? And you don't always have to seek revenge. Now, I'm not telling you, you know, I'm not, preaching that. Oh, you just got to turn the cheek every time. No, I'm not saying that. Because I ain't finna just turn the cheek every time. You know, I just ain't. I just have to ask the Lord to forgive me because I'm just ain't one of them people that just gonna turn the cheek every time, right? But in certain situations, right, you know, you don't always have to seek revenge because those people that do you some harm, they not gonna get away with it. I promise you they not. So, I don't know, man. That was just what I woke up on, man. And, yeah. Maybe one day I could, you know, go into the story of, all the events. It was real traumatic, right? So, but as of right now, excuse me, as of right now, I don't know. I just, you know, it's just touchy. It's a touchy situation, and I don't know. I guess it's one of them days too. It's raining, and I just don't like when it rains. But you guys, y'all have a beautiful day wherever y'all at. Um, do something productive today. Uh, get you some good eats. Love on your people. You know what I'm saying? Love on your people. And yeah, you ain't gotta seek revenge. It's been a factor, and it's from the ground up.